Yo, what up guys, Mr. Gross here from MBR Starcast. Today with a short little video explaining the new mastery changes that have come in for patch 3.14. It's the patch that's coming today on the 21st of November 2013. Basically it's all the Season 4 changes that were meant to come when Season 4 officially started, which I believe was 2 weeks ago, but I wasn't here so I'm not sure when that actually happened. And I've literally come back, made some videos yesterday, and now all the changes we made where you have the new jungle, new support items, changes to the jungle items. I will be doing videos if you guys like to see about all these changes to the items and why they're good, and hopefully I'll get some gameplay out. There's the Nasus top video, that's my latest video with all the new changes. Also changes to snowball and champion updates and shitload to kind of take in. One of the main things is the Masteries, what I'm going to be covering in this video. You should see by the title this is for Nasus, but this also goes for other top lane tanks. I haven't tested out all the Masteries yet as I've only played this Nasus game, but these are the Masteries I will take in future for Nasus top games, and I'm going to be doing videos for AD carry, AB carry and so forth, but you're going to have to bear with me as it's taken me a little while to make all the pictures so it kind of make it look a bit more fancy for you guys to see. So anyway, starting off we have double-edged or edge sword. Basically for a melee champion, which obviously Nasus is, it deals an additional 2% damage and receive an additional 1% damage. So basically this means you do 2% additional damage, which is really nice. So when you're fighting a champion, you're going to be doing this 2% more damage, but obviously when they're doing damage to you, you receive 1% more than you normally would, but obviously on top of that you're doing an additional 1%, which is really nice. But it kind of means if you can do a lot of damage to your opponent for free, then it's just going to be even more now. So obviously they can kind of trade back, get a little bit better, but for range it's not, well, it is as good if you can poke more, you don't get attacked, but I'll talk about that in a future video. Sorcery, I take 4 points in this out of the 4 because Nasus really kind of relies on cooldown reduction, or it doesn't rely on it, but it's very nice on him and any other champion sort of in the top lane, but especially for Nasus. At level 4, the 4 points out of 4, you get 5% cooldown reduction. You see in the picture you get 1.5, 2.5 and 3.75 for the other ranks, but 5% cooldown reduction is really important for your Q and any other moves, and for any other champion like say Garen, it makes your Q shorter. Butcher, basic attacks and single target spells deal an additional 2% damage to minions and monsters. So, you know, more of this is kind of a jungle thing, but you don't necessarily need to take this if you feel your kind of last hit, and I guess it's okay, and you probably look to take a point somewhere else, but I haven't fully looked at all the other things yet, so it's something I take just because it's kind of new, and it kind of makes it make your last hit a bit easier, especially with your Q where it does real relative to no damage early game. So take 1 point out of that. And then you go down into the second bar in this offense, putting our final point to make it 7 points in the offense. True, we go for a point in Feast. Really like this. Killing the unit restores 2 health and 1 mana. Really kind of OP. It worked really well for like Shogath with his passive, but you know, for Nasus, getting that additional health for every time you get a last hit, and obviously the mana as well. 1 mana is not much, but you know, it kind of mounts up more. It's better than nothing. So take a point in that. We now move on to the defensive tree where I've taken 22 points altogether in this. So we first want to look at block. Block reduces incoming damage from champion base attacks by 1 and then by 2 at level 2. So I take 2 points in this. You know, reducing damage is always good. Can't argue with that. I then look to take 2 out of 2 points in enchanted armor, increasing bonus armor and magic resistance by 2.5% and then 5% at max level. You know, that's just really OP. Good for a tank. So like I say, this is not necessarily for Nasus, but can work for other tanks. Then we have unyielding. I guess that says I believe that's what it says. That's what I'm going to go for anyway. Melee reduces all incoming damage from champions by 2. You know, you can't argue with that. You know, you're a tank, so Nasus is just going to work really well for and any other champion again, so just take the 1 out of 1 out of that. Veteran Scars, taking 3 points in this. Veteran Scars used to be in the old Masteries from what I can remember, but I think it was a bit better. 36 health at max level on that, so you know, it's always nice to have increased health, especially early game. And with Nasus even better, or any tank. Juggernaut, down in the next tree, we have plus 3% maximum health. You know, that's just, you know, what we like to see. So I don't know what the calculations that work out. I can't be asked to actually try and think off the top of my head, but you know, it's a nice amount, especially when you have like a Warmog Sunfire Cape and like an Omen on you. Along from that, we take 3 out of 3 points in hardness, which just gives us an additional 5 armor at max level. And this is all start at the early game, so having that 5 additional armor early game is going to be really nice, especially on champion Nasus, where people are trying to really look for first blood over you because of how kind of weak you are, and they want to stop you snowballing. And we then have Perseverance. I believe that says my pronunciation could be wrong, as it generally is with all this shit on this game. But anyway, we take 3 out of 3 points in that. And at max level, it allows us to regenerate plus 3% of missing health every 5 seconds. So really nice for especially early game. But it's really nice overall. Moving on from that, we then take Reinforced Armor, 1 point out of 1, reduces damage taken by critical strikes by 10%, really nice, especially against champions like Caitlyn or something when you come mid-game, or Tryndamere, Tryndamere gets picked a bit against Nasus, or against any champion, again, kind of same works. Second Wind, we take 1 point out of that. Really like this mastery point. Increases self-healing, health regen, lifesteal and spell vamp by 10% when below 25% health. So really good on Nasus or anyone who kind of has sort of that lifesteal or whatever. It works really well, especially with Zed or something. You shred bitches, but you wouldn't really get this far down in the mastery tree with Zed, I guess. We then take, I've taken 3 out of 4 points in Tenacious. Basically, at the third level, you gain 3 armor and 1.5 magic resistance for each nearby enemy champion. So, it's pretty nice. Along from that, we take 1 out of the 1 points in the Runic Shield. Start the game with a 50 health shield. This shield regenerates each time after respawning. Every little kind of counts, I guess. It's pretty nice. Get a little shield. It looks pretty cool. And then finally, in the defensive tree, we take a point in Legendary Guardian, reduces the duration of crowd control effects by 50%. I think that kind of speaks for itself, really. And then finally, I take a point in the utility tree. In the Scout, increases the cast range of trinket items by 15%. So these are the new items that have been included into the game, so it kind of makes warding a little bit easier with them. I'll explain about these sort of new wards in a future video. Otherwise, the other options, you could say, if you wanted to take a point in the utility tree, you could go for meditation, which gives you, or you'd only get 1 mana regen per 5, which is just okay-ish, but nothing special. You can get 0.5% movement speed, or you could go for the Phase Walker, reduces the casting time of recall by 1 second, which I guess is kind of nice, really thinking about it, but I've gone for the Scout one anyway, just to kind of scout shit out a bit easier. So hopefully this has explained the video, or the new masteries for Season 4, I guess it is now, patch 3.14. Hopefully this explained it all over, what you need to know for a top lane, sort of defensive mastery, so not necessarily Nasus, it could work for other champions like Garen, Necton and all that, but I'm going to do a video shortly, it'll probably be out maybe in an hour or something, of the one for an AD carry, AP carry, and I will look into jungle as well. So I'm still kind of learning myself, and also let me know, guys, what you think. If you want any help on the mastery still, drop me a message, and try and help you out when I can. So nevertheless, take it easy, have a good day, peace.